Hello and welcome to North Star Stamper. I'm Sue Kremer. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Minnesota. You can see I have a new sheet here. I'm trying to make it more simple. If you're looking for Stampin' Up! Products to purchase with me as your demonstrator, you go to northstarstamper.stampinup.net. Everything else I have kind of based on my website, which is northstarstamper.com. So I'm hoping to make it easier for you to find what you need. And I'm having trouble connecting. Hold on. If I feel flustered, it's because I got home an hour and a half ago. I went to Michigan for the weekend to spend some time with my parents. So let me see. I know my mom likes to watch too. I want to say hello to not to everybody. I try not to do too much of that because I know it kind of disrupts what I'm working on. All right, let me keep looking for myself here. Oh, goodness. Let's try again. Sorry if you're waiting on me. I want to make sure I can see all your comments. Okay, hold on. There we go. And hopefully I'm live. Say hello. Let me know where you're from. If you're new, welcome. There we go. There's people waiting. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. So we are, as they say, casing the catalog. Oh, my lighting is bad. Let's move this lamp down. Hopefully that will be better. Give me a minute here for my video to catch up. Hello, 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 everybody. And I see my mom is on here, and she told me that when she watches, she's on her phone, and my dad is sitting next to her. So hi to Dad, too. I had a wonderful weekend visiting with them and some other family members. And I'm back and ready to create. So I decided that today we are casing the catalog. And I like to call casing copy and share everything. So I am copying this card. This is the annual catalog on page 158. I should have said that first and you could have gotten your catalog while I found myself on my tablet. So we're going to case this catalog. We're going to make some changes to it though. We're going to use different colors and you'll see where it goes. But this is the card I am basing my card on. And these are new products to me. They were in the catalog last May, but I just got them. The Beauty of Friendship. It is a photopolymer, so you've heard me talk about these. They come between two pieces of acetate. This one is really flimsy. This is much sturdier. And if you remember last week when we did, I think it was last week, I don't know, we did the triple easel card, and this is the piece that I used to pop up my my dragonfly. Here's my card from last week. And so this plastic here that I have the dragonfly on is the thicker one of these. And then the idea behind these is you adhere them to here, and then you can use these pieces of acetate for other things, which I have lots of ideas. We've used them on other projects. So we're going to use this stamp set today. Sorry if I'm babbling. We'll keep going. We might be long tonight because I'm not quite ready. All right, and then the dies that coordinate are called Beautiful Trees dies. Let me go back in the annual catalog. So that's the card we're creating, and you can see the bundle here. Page 11 of your annual catalog, if you want to pull that out to see better what we're using. There it is. This designer series paper coordinates very well with this. So I have the dies and the stamp set, and I die cut the dies real quick after I had a quick dinner. So I have those to show you too. So there's this piece and this one. And so I did them together and then I did them separate. And they're not, I don't know, I was confused. So I just die cut, and this is what I came up with. I will send a card to anyone or the first person on Facebook and YouTube who can tell me what retired color this paper is. I have paper handy and I will make a note of who can tell me what color that is. It's a retired color. That's all I'm going to say. So I cut this together you know, I layered them. They do fit inside each other. And I cut it, and I got, oh, I figured out these two pieces. So this is kind of interesting. I don't think they're supposed to be layered. I think this just gives you more dimension to your leaves on your tree. And I don't think this one coordinates with a stamp. So maybe the idea, and I'll play around and watch my social media. Maybe you're supposed to die cut this in a solid color and then die cut this either the way we're going to do tonight or in another color or pattern paper or whatever, and layer it on top to get more dimension on your tree. I guess I should have looked more closely at page 11 and page 158. Sorry, see, I'm a little confused. Oh, yes, I think that's what they did here. So there's a lighter green, maybe Pear Pizzazz behind, and it looks like they did some inking or something and cut out that detailed one to give you lots of dimension on your tree. And they even die cut the trunk using the pattern paper. I do have that to show you as well. So I learned something already just by talking about these dies. There's a couple label dies that I'm sure coordinate with the sentiments. A couple cute little birds. And then these obviously cut out the your trees. This one could just be an evergreen for Christmas. Isn't that pretty? And then here is the trunk. I believe it coordinates with the stamp. I have one cut, but I didn't stamp it. I cut it out of brown. And isn't this beautiful? Oh, can you see that? I don't want to put my hand behind it. There's the yellow. Isn't that beautiful? Beautiful tree trunk. That'd be pretty for a Christmas scene. Oh gosh, the ideas are coming. The ideas are coming. So I'm going to put these to the side. I'm going to show you the pattern paper that coordinates with all these. I need to slow down and just take more time if I need more time. So it's all chopped up. I've been using it. I think, well, this is the one they show you in the catalog. Die cut out of this to get lots of colorful leaves on your tree. So this is where my idea came from tonight. We're going to stamp in lots of different colors to get a colorful tree. This had evergreens along the bottom, and then more winter scene on that side. Layers of trees, and just pretty green wash. And it's oh, that's different ones. There's the wood that I said that they had die cut the trunk out of. And then the pretty fall leaves on the same one. I don't know if those are all of them, but it's a nice sampling. So it's a beautiful stamp, beautiful paper. All right, let's get busy. We're going to put these to the side. I will need this little one and that one. I haven't die cut yet, so I'm going to use my embossing machine, my Mini. So let me know if you have questions. And I'm not getting comments. There, a lot of people said hello. I appreciate that. All right, let's see if I can find a paper. There we go. So when I have, and I'm sure I've showed you this before, but maybe you're new to my videos. Sorry for the noise. I'll do that off camera a little bit. When I get a new photopolymer stamp set, I take a light colored ink. I usually use crumb cake, but this one was on top. It's smoky slate. Something that doesn't have red in it. And while it's on this acetate sheet, I stamp up the whole thing. Now, I don't know how these are created. I haven't been to Utah to watch. I have been to Utah, but I haven't been there to watch how our stamps are created. Because we do make them ourselves in Utah. Kanab, I believe, is where our manufacturing plant is. I know there's demonstrators watching. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think these are all created in, manufactured in Kanab, Utah. And so, for some reason, this helps my stamps not become so stained. And I'm sure you've seen some of my photopolymer stamps, especially when I use red on them, become very stained. They work fine. There's nothing wrong with them. And they don't seem to last any shorter amount of time than the ones that aren't stained. So I'm going to clean this off with my chamois. I think that's good. It was a light color. So, and now I feel like it's ready to go. I don't know if one of you is a scientist. what did the ink do to my stamp that now it won't be stained? I don't know if it seals it or if it takes, I don't know. It just works, at least somewhat for me. So the colors we're going to use today, would it help if I pull the catalog back and show you the card we're working on? I didn't have time to make my own sample today. So let me know if you want me to pull out the catalog. I will do that, or if you have your own. Soft Suede is what we're going to use for the tree trunks. We're going to use Merry Merlot, and that's our card base, and some of the leaves. Crushed curry and garden green. It is now dark outside my window, but about an hour ago when I came down here, I looked out my window and there is a tree in my yard, or the neighbor's yard, that is green on the bottom, and then some combination, I think it's more Cajun Craze, but I wanted to use Merry Merlot. And it's these colors at the top and this at the bottom, so that's what I am going to try to replicate. So to get multiple colors on one stamp, all right, I'm not getting more comments here. Did anybody have a guess as to what color those dies were? And I have paper here. I will write your name down and I will send you a card. What color is that? It's retired. I have a feeling Melissa will know. Oh, maybe you haven't been around that long. So I already die cut, just using those dies, one of the trees, and I think it coordinates with, I think I could have stamped and die cut, but the top's going to be covered by my tree, my leaves anyway, so it was okay. I was kind of in a hurry. And that's all you need. I just used a scrap of Soft Suede cardstock to die cut my tree trunk. Oh, Melissa doesn't know. I'm surprised. I think it was from before you were stamping, Melissa. Okay, we are going to use, oh, there's two of them here. We're just going to have to play around. So these two are these two stamps. I think I'm going to use the more filled in one, and then because I'm adding different colors. Sorry, I didn't have time to play with this before. Like I said, you'll have to check my social media. On Facebook, I'm on Instagram. I do pin my other stuff to Pinterest, so it'll probably be on Instagram if you want to see what I've done. Okay, let me know if you want me to pull up my catalog. I can do that. So I'm using my Stamparatus because I want to stamp multiple times in different colors. We're just going to put it here. Hopefully you can see. I'll stand up and make sure I'm in camera view. Okay, good. We can get rid of this. That might help for now. All right, so I'm going to put that there. It's a photopolymer, so I do have my cushion underneath because there's no cushion on my stamp. I'm going to pick that up. It's going to be perfect, and then we're going to die cut it after. But I'm going to start with green. I do have sponges here, so I'm going to ink up the bottom of my tree. Because I'm using my Stamparatus with my magnets, I can stamp this as many times as I want, and I know it is not going to move. Let's get some more green on the bottom. This is very pretty. I wish I had time to play with this. I think it arrived the day before I flew to Michigan, so I didn't have time. And I flew, so I couldn't take it with me. So that was garden green. Next, we're adding crushed curry. Alma, you are correct. And I'm not going to say what you guessed, because I want the people who watch me on YouTube to be able to guess as well. So Alma guessed correctly. Let me make a note here. I should have Alma just message me, but Alma is my sister-in-law in case you don't recognize the name. So if you are watching my replay on YouTube, guess what color that I used to create my die cuts. So there I put some crushed curry at the top. Let me show you a little closer. Isn't that beautiful? But I want to make it more red, so I'm going to add some Merry Merlot. I got ink all over my thumb, and now I've got ink all over my other color. Slow down, Sue. Slow down. It's okay if we go longer than half an hour. If you need to leave, you can always come back and watch a replay. If you noticed, I have not cleaned that stamp yet. these colors are darker, and using a sponge, I'm not getting, contaminating sounds really strong, but getting the colors all mixed up. So I'm going to put some red at the top of my tree. Oh, isn't that beautiful? I wish it were more red, so let's add a lot more Merry Merlot. Isn't that beautiful? And that's what trees are looking like at my house these days. They're starting to, not all of them. There's just a couple that look like that. So, and that's what we're going to do for our one tree. I'm going to have to pull the catalog back because I don't quite remember everything about that card. If I remember. Alright, let me clean this off and then I will show you what this stamp looked like. So at the very top I use Merry Merlot, and that obviously is a very red ink. And our red inks are the ones that stain. You know, can you tell? This is very vanilla, so it's not white. You can see it is more red at the top, but I think had I not put smoky slate and kind of on all my stamps first, like I did at the beginning of my video, I think that would be very red. I don't want to test it with another stamp, but there's that. So let's clean up. I think I'm done with the sponges. Oh, I did not decide what color my other trees are going to be, and I don't have any other inks handy, so I guess we are going to use the same ones. I'm going to use this to die cut a piece of the vanilla for my sentiment, and I think I'm done with this. And this is going to go right there. I'm using lots of machines today. I'm using my mini machine. Isn't that cute? Cute, cute, cute. Oh, I see some other people have joined me. Maybe you've been here a while. So hello and thank you for joining me. I know it's late in the Eastern time zone. This is only 3 inches wide, and I used my standard 4 by 5 1/4 piece of very vanilla that I had already cut for my card base, so I can just cut it down to 3 inches so it'll fit through my machine. Let me find my other things. And with the machine you get these plates and they tell you how to make your sandwich. Place die cutting edge down. So I need number 1 and number 2. You can see I've used it a little. And my paper and my die down. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. I do want this, I haven't die cut this already stamped, so I'm hoping it goes well. If not, I will use those sponges to finish off this edge. I don't know if there's white, in this case of vanilla, around the edges. We'll find out together. And that's for my sentiment. I'm doing my sentiment a little bit different. They actually stamped on the vellum. And I think I told you before, I have access to the recipes for all the projects in the catalogs. And so I looked at the recipe for this. And they used 2 pieces of vellum. I think vellum. So I think so that you could see it better. That's not too bad, although I think I don't like that edge around there, so I'm gonna sponge that. I do want to cut another one of these in case I don't stamp correctly. Then I don't have to pull my machine back out. So I'm gonna put that in there. Pull you back in. Getting it started is always the hardest part, and you do have to hold this pretty steadily. It's a mini but mighty machine. So there we go. There's my sentiment strips. I think I'm done with this. Guess I could have just cut that. So if that's not enough, I can always cut that. All right. I have some options here. Where'd my catalog go? Did I say 158? I do believe. All right. I have Merry Merlot for my cardstock, my card base, 8.5 by 5.5. We're just going to make a standard card. And a bone folder. We're going to put a piece of Very Vanilla here. I'm just going to kind of put it together. Here's the tree I die cut, the trunk I die cut. It's going to go there. Oh, cute. Up on dimensionals, you might actually see a bit of that. So I'm going to stamp 2 more trees here. Sorry, I'm a little out of view. 2 more trees here, and then I have, like they suggested, I have 2 strips of vellum that are 4 1/4 by 1 1/4. I thought that was wide enough. If I do want to use the vellum, we can do that. That's too wide. I'm covering up too much of my tree. But I also have some gold vellum. Look how shiny that is. That is the same 4 1/4 by 1 1/4, which I think is too wide. I wanted it wider than my sentiment, and I measured how wide that was. So what do we think? I don't know. I think I'm going to stamp first, and then we'll decide about the vellum. They actually stamped on the vellum, and they said to stamp on the vellum and set it aside to let it dry, because it'll take a minute. Or use your heat tool to, they say zap it, to use your heat tool to dry it more quickly if you're in a hurry. Let's do some stamping on here, some other trees. Still have a wobbly table. I haven't been to the store yet, so we're going to bring our, this is from the big machine. I have too much stuff on my table. I'm distracted. My card is going to be for my brother that I didn't see yesterday. I saw one of them, but the other one didn't come, so I'm going to make him a card that says, I miss you. And we're just going to use these inks I already have out. So we'll leave these out. Alright, let's start with the tree base. Soft Suede. And we'll just use blocks on these. Sorry, that's kind of noisy. Let's put that over there so I don't have to do that again. There's our trunk. And just to be different, we're going to use, I think they used the big one, didn't they? Oh well, they did if you look at the picture. We're going to make them all the same here. I'm going to pick this up with a block. And in the catalog, they tell you what they suggest what size blocks you might need. Most of them will fit on a D block, which is the bigger one, like this. But there are a few that need this bigger block. I don't use that one very often, but it's handy to have. Okay, on this, we are going to stamp. I want that paper back because they have their trunks going off the bottom. Sorry for my mess. Let me clean up. We'll show you this beautiful tree. Okay. Everybody following me? Let's see. Very pretty. Thank you, Alma. I like the colors too. And fall's my favorite because of the colors. Okay. Soft Suede tree trunks. We're going to put these, a stamp on here first and see how we do. Good. I always like to practice, especially with a new stamp that I've never really used before. It's seen ink once when I did the Smoky Slate. I'm going to do this one off the edge of the paper. So there's our 2 trees. Let's just make one crushed curry. I haven't done this yet, so we will see how it goes. Oh, I love it. There's that one. So that is not the one I used to stamp this. So there's like detail and then more solid, and obviously they can layer. But I didn't want to take the time to do that. I thought if I make a mistake, it would take way too long to figure out how to fix it. And anyway, and we'll do the other one green to make this multicolored one stand out more. And I am putting the top of my stamp at the top of that branch. And there's my garden green tree. Now we'll decide how this all layers together. Trying to think if I want to stamp on the inside of my card and on my envelope. I think I do, while I have stuff out. Let's just put a little tree down here. It'll look like a shrub. Let's just do it green. So this is my envelope. I'm going to leave that dirty and then stamp on the inside. I have another piece, 4 by 5 1/4. You know I pre-cut those. Let's just put another tree here. This will be on the inside of our card because Merry Merlot is quite a dark cardstock. It'd be hard to write on it. The other times I stamped the trunk first, but I think this should work. There. So that'll be for the inside of our card. Let's put our card together. I don't have any bling or ribbon, but since it's for my brother, I think that's okay. Let's put all these to the side. I do want to share with you that while I put this together, I'm going to be offering a Christmas Stamp-A-Stack. So if you're not familiar with a Stamp-A-Stack, what am I looking for? Glue. Just going to use liquid glue. Let's put this on the inside first. So a Stamp-A-Stack is I will purchase and send you designer series paper and coordinating cardstock. And I'm going to include, let's make sure our tree is not upside down. I'm going to include some ribbon and some embellishments. And then I haven't decided yet if I'm going to do one of my Monday night videos or do a separate video where I give you suggestions on how to make a whole bunch of cards with that designer series paper and the cardstock that I have sent you. Well, what I'm thinking is, and I'll show you the designer series paper we're using. And if you don't like that designer series paper, you can always purchase cardstock and designer series paper yourself and then use my card ideas to make a whole bunch of Christmas cards yourself. Oh, isn't that beautiful? I'm going to put this one a little higher, and then we'll put the sentiment down here. Now you have to help me. Do we like the white, the vanilla, or the gold? Ooh, I like the gold, but I'm going to cut it down. I'm going to cut a 1/4 inch off the width, and it'll be okay. Yeah, so if you're interested in making your own Christmas cards, I haven't decided on a price for my Christmas Stamp-A-Stack yet. But you'll get envelopes, and you won't get... Part of the kit will not be inks and stamps. If you've been stamping, I'm assuming you have those already, and if you don't, I will give you suggestions on stamps and ink for the kit that I'm offering. And I'll show you that as soon as I'm done with this one. Alright, so I think if that goes there, I want some birds up in the sky. Does this have birds? It does not. When I'm done, off camera, I'm going to find a bird stamp and put some birds up here. Some flying birds. I can't remember. Maybe the lighthouse. Do they have birds? I think it does. I don't want to find it now. But just know that when I post this online, this is going to have some... I'll use soft suede or gray to put some birds up here. Alright, let's stamp the sentiment using Through It Together. I Miss You. So, do you normally stamp and send Christmas cards? We're going to use the brown. Oh, good. Mom agreed. Gold. Thank you, Mom. And is this going to fit? Yeah. The gold is going to add just enough sparkle. I think we have people watching from all over. Michigan, North Carolina, Missouri. Kathy, I have to ask you, I think you were very warm today, were you not? Minnesota, Ohio, Minnesota, and Maryland. I think there was another Michigan, I think. I don't know. Let's see how we do. It's a little high, but that'll do. That's good enough. All right, let's put this together. And then I'll show you the pattern paper I'm going to be using for my Christmas Stamp-A-Stack. I have to decide where this is going to go. I do want to see that trunk below that. So I'm going to put it just a little bit higher than this one, this trunk. Again, I'm just going to use liquid glue for the tree trunk. This is actually pretty easy to put glue on. It is very thick up there. Alright, get some on the bottom. That's mostly going to be covered. Okay, just above there. Hold that down for just a second. Alright. Oh, the other reason I decided to include this on top of the vellum instead of stamping on the vellum is my sentiment piece is going to hide my adhesive. Sneaky, sneaky, sneaky. Brand new pack of dimensionals on here. Maybe. There we go. So I'm kind of hoping you'll be able to see the trunk underneath. I'm going to offset it just a little bit so you can kind of peek under there and see that that's actually a piece of cardstock. All right, so I think that's going to go there. You know what? I'm going to adhere this with dimensionals. I think you've seen me do this before. I'm going to kind of place this where I want it. I haven't adhered that. Let's adhere that. Try to get the corners. We'll swirl in the middle. Sure, okay. Thank you for joining me tonight. I really do enjoy these Monday nights. It keeps me stamping. It keeps me coming up with new ideas. So I do enjoy it. I hope you enjoy it too. I know some of you have reached out to me and I know you enjoy it. So the vellum's going to go where I can see just the trunk there, and I'm going to put it kind of towards the middle. And now I know where I can put adhesive. And I'm going to bend this a little bit so it'll come into the card. I made it as wide as the card. So I think it's okay that the ends are up. What do you think? Do you think it's okay that those ends are loose? And that, I think it'll work. There's my card for today. Remember, I stamped the envelope too, so it looks like a shrub, but anyway, I think my brother will be surprised because I'm pretty sure he doesn't watch my videos. Mike, if you are watching, watch your mailbox. This one's coming to you. Okay, let's clean up a little. I think you can probably see my mess on my video. I know that's very distracting, and I apologize for that. Okay. When I have a bigger table, it'll be a little easier to push stuff out of the way. So my Stampin' so that's my version of the card on page 158. All right, I've got a stack of stuff here. So my Stampin' is going to be based on the Painted Christmas Designer Series paper, which is this one. And it is in the mini catalog, if you have your mini, on page 17. So there is a stamp set that is just the greenery. So if you want to stamp, you know, let's say, there are no bells on that stamp set. No, that's right. Where are they? Let's say you want to stamp some pine cones on your sentiment pieces that I will include in your kit. You'd need the coordinating stamp set. And I'll show you some options for your cards with and without that stamp set that coordinates with this. I think the one thing you probably could get away with only having one stamp that says Merry Christmas and get all your cards made. And so I'm going to show you lots of ideas on using this Designer Series paper to make Christmas cards. And that's what the two sides look like. So the kit that I'm going to sell for my Christmas Stampin' Stack is going to have cardstock in the coordinating colors. I'll probably use some Pear Pizzazz and some soft sea foam and bits of brown and layers. And I will also cut some dies. And there's one of the big dies that coordinates with the stamp set. And I'll give you some dies. So you would just need stamps, ink, adhesive, and the ability to cut a 12 by 12 piece of cardstock, designer series paper. Oh, the kit is going to include one of each of these, and they'll be 12 by 12. This was 6 by 12. We cut them down to share. When I get it all figured out, you'll know exactly what the kit contains, and how many cards you'll make will depend on how elaborate your cards are. So you can make them really elaborate and make fewer cards. If you make them really simple, you can get more cards out of the kit. So that's the gist. I don't know how. It'll be somewhere between $20 and $40. I know that's a wide range, but I haven't figured out everything that's going to be in it. I do know that I'm going to include these 3 ribbons. The Evening Evergreen Open Weave, the Evening Evergreen Chevron Weave, and I love this white. You've seen me use it a lot. The white crinkle seam binding. So those will be included, and I think I'm going to include some gilded gems. If you don't like that pattern paper, feel free to purchase other pattern paper. This is the Whimsy, Wonder in Whimsy or something. I know you can see. It's beautiful, but non-traditional colors. If that's what you want your cards to be this year, feel free to buy this DSP and coordinating cardstock. Oh, isn't that beautiful? And then I will make sure my video, at least, is available for you to use this with your own cardstock, and you'd have to purchase embellishments and stuff too. So this is the back side. Oh, that's pretty. You didn't see that one. So I have my notes there. There's some blue in there. Anyway, so that one. Another option would be the animals, and these are all in the mini catalog. I don't have page numbers, and I think I've taken enough of your time for now, but these are all other Christmas options. You would have to buy, choose what colors you want to coordinate with this cardstock to make your Christmas card. So that's another option. And I bring this up now because another final option for you is this pattern paper, and it is part of Celebration that ends on Thursday. So if you purchase, let's say you purchase the cardstock that coordinates with this, and I grabbed some. I grabbed Crumb Cake, but I should have grabbed Sahara Sand instead. Garden Green, Cherry Cobbler, and Real Red are the colors in here. So if you purchase the cardstock and embellishments, maybe ink and stamps if you don't have those too, this is a free item for Celebration. And you'd have this ready to go to make your Christmas cards when I do my Christmas Stamp-A-Stack. So that's the back side. Some of these, I think the plaids, especially the greens, actually all of these, this one looks more like kids to me, but the rest of them, and especially this one, isn't it beautiful? Looks like birch trees. Would be great for masculine cards. So, like masculine birthday cards. So this one does have a coordinating punch. So if you want to punch out those deer, you could punch them out, and then you could punch those in circles or something. Lots of ideas, lots of ideas. But my point was, if you didn't like the DSP I'm using for my Stamp-A-Stack, go ahead and purchase this before Thursday, or make a purchase. Add this to your order for your free Celebration item, and you'll be all set to go to do your own Christmas Stamp-A-Stack, and I will give you lots of ideas for Christmas cards in that video. I will put more about it in my October 1st newsletter. Okay, enough talking. Thank you for joining me. I do appreciate it. If you're not getting my newsletters, I send them out twice a month. You can go to NorthStarStamper.com, and there's a place you can sign up for my newsletter. And I share tips and tricks. Well, not too many tips and tricks, to be honest. What is going on with Stampin' Up, and then every newsletter includes a card or a project that you won't see anywhere else. So I include it in my newsletter, and I do not put it anywhere else on social media. So if you like more ideas, sign up for my newsletter at NorthStarStamper.com. I sound like a commercial. Thank you for joining me. I will go through and see what kind of questions. I don't think any questions, but thank you, thank you, thank you. Kathy said, yes, they were warm today, and she spent all afternoon on the lake with 2 lady friends. How wonderful, Kathy. All right. Oh, thank you, Diana. She shared. I meant to tell you, if you share my video, either here on Facebook or I think you can share them from YouTube also, I will send a card. This time, I think I will send a card to everybody who shares, but you have to tell me you shared. I know how many people shared, but I don't always know who shared. So leave a comment or contact me directly that you shared my video, and I will send you a card. So Alma, I owe you a card for guessing the correct color of that cardstock. Diana, I owe you a card. Actually, I think Diana, I owe you 2 cards. One, I forget. You were the furthest away when I asked where people lived. You were the furthest away in North Carolina. And I owe you a card for sharing today. So, thank you, thank you. Oh my gosh, Ohio was 86. Kathy, that's hot for September 27th. Michigan was 80 when I left, and it was 77 when I landed in Minnesota. All right, enough babbling. Thank you for joining me. Happy stamping. Let me know if I can help you with anything. I will be back next week. It's the first Monday in October, so we'll be doing Christmas. Have a great week, everybody. Bye.